I have officially brought out my cauldron, I think that's how you pronounce these, cauldron earrings. So that's how you know that I am officially in the fall, spooky, scary, Halloween, cozy, leaves, tea, autumn vibes. And I'm so freaking excited. Since I'm in this spirit, that means that I am wanting to pick these books up any day now. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, Yarisa, what 6 books do you want to read this fall? Or maybe you're here for some fall recommendations. Well, lucky for you, that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So take a seat, grab a drink, grab a snack, and enjoy listening to me ramble about books. I picked out 6 books that I really want to read in September, October, and then in like half of November. And I could have easily picked out like 12 books. Sorry, I got like a cat hair. Oh no, it's my own hair. I could have easily picked out 12 books, but I need to be reasonable with myself. I am a slow reader, so I just picked out 6 for the next 2.5 months. I typically read 3 to 4 books a month, so I'm making this like very doable for me. I got my stack of 6 books here, but I have 3 other ones here. And honestly, I just couldn't make this video without mentioning these, but instead of me going into full detail and making this video really, really long, I am just going to briefly tell you guys other books that I have in mind, but I'm not gonna, you know, put too much stress or just like, what am I trying to say? It felt wrong to not mention these books in this fall TBR video. So the first one is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I really want to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series and that series, and it just seems like the perfect time to read Caraval during the fall time. And I also really want to read The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This has been on my TBR for a while now. It sounds like it's going to be a perfect found family book. It's not heavy like on like the fall winter, but it's something about like the synopsis on this book gives me like cozy vibes, so it makes me think of fall. And I think it's a little bit of fantasy. And I also have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I don't know why I said that weird, Lauren Roberts. I'm so scared to read fantasy, and I'm really trying to get out of that fear this year. And this is just a book, like, I really won't be mad at myself if I read this. With that being said, these are like books that are also in the back of my mind for this fall. Let's start with the 6 books that I really want to read this fall. Let's start off with Harry Potter. This is the very first book, The Sorcerer's, don't make fun of me, The Sorcerer's Stone. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The Sorcerer's Stone. That's really hard to say. I actually picked this book up yesterday, and I am already 60 pages in. And also, let me show you guys the cute freaking bookmark. Yes, it's Dobby. There is like there's 8 movies, so there's 7 books, and I am a slow reader, so I knew that as soon as September hit, I wanted to start reading the Harry Potter series. I'm not gonna be really strict with myself and say you have to finish the entire series this year, because I am realistic and I know that I'm a slow reader, but I am hoping to read at least 3 or 4 within this season. So like at the end of like March, hopefully I've read like 4 of them. When I tell you that I have been thinking about this book since I put it down last night, it just goes to show, just like, whew, like so far so good. I'm having a really good experience, and I'm really hoping it's gonna be a 5-star, because I haven't had like a true 5-star read this year. Just overjoyed to start the series, and I will be bringing you guys along while I read this book. So stay tuned for a reading vlog while I bring us along with this book. Then the second book that I want to read is The Silent Patient. This is by Alex Michalladz. This is actually one of the first ever books I have bought since getting into reading. I've had this on my shelf since 2021. I was in Walmart just wanting to buy a book, and I read the first sentence on the back and I immediately bought it. And now it's been 3 years later and I have yet to read it. It seems like it's gonna be like a book that's like Freida McFadden, where it's gonna grab my attention the entire time, and there's gonna be twists and turns that I did not see at all coming. This for Halloween, it's gonna go hand in hand. I want to read the little first piece of the synopsis so that you can see. Beware, it is like gruesome and it is scary. So it says, Alicia Berninson's life is seemingly perfect until one night when her husband Gabriel returns home late from work and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. Crazy, right? Crazy. That's all I need to know to buy it. I feel like this year is going to be the year that I finally get to this. Then the third book that I really want to read this year is The Inheritance Games. This is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have had so many of you guys actually recommend this book to me. I don't get too many comments, you know, I'm a slow YouTuber. I don't get too many comments since I'm a small YouTuber. But tell me why this has been the book that's been the most recommended to me out of any other book. So many of you guys have told me that this is so good, and I actually have the entire series and I have yet to read even the first book. I know that I'm going to enjoy it and I just want to wait for the perfect like ambiance time of the year. This feels like it's gonna be like one of my next reads. I also really want to have this book in a reading vlog too. Since so many of you guys have recommended it to me, I thought it would be nice to like record my experience with this book and share it with you guys. So this seems like a cozy book. Pretty sure there's a love triangle in here, and the book is filled with like puzzles and riddles and an inheritance games. In the book we are following Avery Grams, and it says, like, it seems like she actually has like a really hard life. It says that she's just trying to survive high school. It says, but her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune. The only catch, Avery must move into his sprawling mansion full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. And then it says, unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family. So it's by 2 other boys that are there, and I'm assuming obviously that's who the love triangle is gonna be with. I am so very excited to start this book, and I really hope that I do this fall. The other book that I really want to read before the year ends is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I say before the year ends because it wouldn't be so bad to read a mystery thriller in the winter time. I am really intrigued to read a book by Riley Sager. He is such a loved, like really big, famous thriller writer. And this author is still releasing books to this day. And there's just so many books by him that I want to read. And I have 2 by him. I also have Survive the Night by him. And the synopsis on this one sounds really good. I don't think it's the worst idea to go into these books very blindly, so I honestly don't even know what this book is about. This one, I know that she is carpooling with a complete stranger and she pretty much thinks that he is the like murderer, and it says it in the synopsis, so it's not going to be a spoiler. It literally says it. It's November 1991. Historical fiction. Sounds amazing. Nirvana's in the tape deck. Are you kidding? It sounds so awesome. George H.W. Bush, Nirvana. The second is, if a book mentions classical rock, I'm immediately hooked. It says George H. Bush is in the White House and movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in a car with a man who might be a serial killer. Serial killer. So this one, I'm just gonna read like the bold part on the synopsis. Her dream apartment, her worst nightmare. So it sounds like a little paranormal, it sounds a little spooky, it sounds scary. This also sounds like the perfect book to read for Halloween time. I hope that it's like a gripping story and I'm able to just fly through it and not put it down. It sounds like one of those books. Then I have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I absolutely love this cover. The sprayed edges, I almost hit myself in the face. The sprayed edges, the cover on the book. I am so intrigued, excited. I'm sorry if those 2 words have annoyed you at this point, because they have annoyed me a tad bit, but I just don't have any other vocabulary words to explain what I am feeling when I'm talking about these books. This book, I will put some emojis here too to explain. I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling, so I'm just gonna use some emojis. No, but this book has romance in it. It's also fantasy, so it's a romantasy. It's also based in the middle of the woods. I'm pretty sure it's about a library in the middle of the woods. The front cover literally has a cat with wings on it, so there's gonna be some mythical creatures in this too. It's gonna be really cozy as well. I think I have read the synopsis, but what has intrigued me the most is the reviews that are on the back of the book. So let me read them to you so you can really get immersed into what I'm feeling. So it says, reading this book was like sitting in the sun, watching bees in the foxgloves, a warm, peaceful delight of a novel. You can almost smell the jam and hear the ocean. I finished the book smiling. So it is talking about the ocean and the sun, so I could read this like any time. Then it says, the spell shop is brimming with cozy charm, endearing characters, and reminders that sometimes the biggest risks lead to the sweetest rewards. And then it says, the spell shop is about believing in the kindness of people. Even when you've seen nothing but cruelty, there is beauty in Kayla's building of a new and brighter world. There is courage in the love of this found family. It says, a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spell books, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. Me accidentally getting distracted with reading the synopsis of this bad boy. This book just seems like the ultimate cozy read. Now to the very last book that I want to read in autumn. I like saying autumn. Autumn sounds better than fall. It sounds more better. So the last book that I want to read before autumn ends is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. We honestly have to give the sprayed edges a moment to shine. They are gorgeous. I actually got this book off of Etsy, so if you're interested in supporting a small business and buying some beautiful sprayed edges, then I will leave the shop in the description if you want to get your hands on this book. I also got it in Divine Rivals. Like, come on, they are gorgeous. So beautiful. I actually read Divine Rivals like really early on in the year. I hope to read this book before the year ends. For one, I enjoyed the story and I really want to read the second book, but also I don't want too much time to go by before I read the second book because I want the first book still fresh in my mind. I can still recall a lot of the first book, and before it's been too long and I can't really remember. The last thing that I want is to pick this book up next year. I honestly can't even tell you what this book is about. For one, I don't want to know because it's the second book. I don't want any spoilers, but also I don't want to tell you guys what the book is about because if you haven't read the first book, then it's definitely going to spoil it for you. I feel like I'm gonna have a better experience with the book considering just how beautiful it is. Like every time that I pick it up, it's gonna be this gorgeous. Maybe that's silly of me, but those are the 6 books that I want to read this fall. I hope that some of these books did sound intriguing for you and maybe you got some recommendations in this pile. We do got a pretty good stack of books here. We got a good amount of fantasy, which I'm proud of myself for. We got some spooky, scary books in here, and we also have like a YA mystery book. So I got a pretty good stack of books here. Please comment down below what's on your fall TBR. I would love to know. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.